Hey everybody, make some noise for your host of the show, Socially Awkward and Uncomfortable. But seriously, here he is, St. Patrick.
Welcome, subscribers, supporters, my people dealing with anxiety and stress, and people just being nosy to the show. Are you comfortable? Is your brain relaxed? Are you ready to finally quit that broken relationship and get a sugar mama or cougar? Are you ready to finally give up your addiction to Coca Cola and move over to Dr. Pepper? Well, my friends, sit back and relax and know that this show at times might make you feel awkward and uncomfortable. Not uncomfortable like when you're just trying to put gas in your car and that SoundCloud rapper is heading your direction. Not awkward like you mentioning how dudes don't give you compliments and now you just placed a thirst trap for hungry dick pics in your DMs. This show may cause discomfort that may at times talk about uncomfortable situations. This is a podcast that will be everything socially awkward and uncomfortable. I am your host, Mr. St. Patrick. So we have two amazing, dope guests today. I appreciate them for coming on and to discuss their journey into sobriety. Actually, this is one of them that I've been trying to do for a while. So when I seen this one guest, posted, how he was, sober, I got really like excited. I reached out to him and he was like, yeah, like let's make it work. And it only made sense to have my other guests on there. Please show love to Ruben and Gabriel to the show.
Yo, what's up?
How
What's
you guys
up?
doing?
How you
Yeah,
doing,
good,
Pat?
good,
Thank you
good.
for having us.
Yeah, yeah,
Doing good.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Do me a favor, move the mic a little bit closer to you. Yeah, so that way you don't have to keep reaching in.
Okay.
And yeah, so that we can hear your voice. We
Can you hear me now?
Voice. Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So with that being said, how are you guys both feeling about this interview?
I feel comfortable. I feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling positive about it. I feel like it's necessary to have these type of conversations.
Right.
That it's important, man. To bring awareness.
Yeah.
To sobriety.
Yeah. It was funny because we had stopped off and we grabbed some drinks right before we came in, and one of the girls is like, "Oh, what is it that you guys are doing today?" And I was mentioning the podcast and stuff. We had mentioned sobriety, and she was telling us a little bit about her story. And I like it at that times because sometimes it's those signs that show you that you're doing the right thing. I know Gabriel was like, man, like midweek he was like, I'm a little nervous because of the fact that I don't know if I want to do it. He was like saying he was getting sick or the cases. I'm like, I think this is important. Once he got over that, he was like, let's run it.
I'm glad he's here because he has a lot more time than me. So he's giving me, the fact that I feel like I got a little bit of time.
But see, to extend on that, I think you guys
Yeah.
are both important key roles because of the fact that he has the time, yes?
Yeah.
So that's your motivator. And then his motivator is you because he can see, okay, like I've been in, and this is like the new generation that's gonna follow, in my steps.
Yeah, not only that, like he told me like, we were talking before this,
Right.
Messaging, and I told him, yeah, I only have a little bit over 9 months.
Yeah.
And he's all like, man, that's great. I'm proud of you and stuff.
Yeah.
That's the kind of love I need. You know what I'm saying? The kind of support.
Yeah.
Especially coming from somebody who has years.
Right.
Coming up on 7 years, right?
Yeah.
July.
Yeah.
I have to ask a very honest question, and I know you guys are probably not gonna want to answer it. But you had just mentioned you guys were talking. Did you guys mention that you guys are gonna come in Cardinals to like really get under my skin?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't.
No, well, I saw he posted a picture, and I was honestly,
yeah.
I was already had it in my mind to rock the Cardinals jersey,
Yeah.
like the day before to piss you off.
Yeah.
So, because
Yeah.
like I knew it would get under your skin. I don't know if you're still a Cowboys fan.
A huge Cowboys fan.
That's
yeah.
horrible.
But to be but to add some light to it, I gotta say you two are probably one of the hardest Cardinal fans. Like,
up, my dog.
Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I even struggle to
What it
say
is.
that. I was like, it was forcing to come out of my mouth, but
We know you love it, dog.
no. Yeah. You know what ruins it is the fans for me a little bit. To be honest with you.
Why?
I mean, for you guys, it's probably the Cowboy fans. You know what I mean? But I hate the fact that like it's always the same
I get
rhetoric.
it. Yeah, I
it's
get it
just-
because Cardinals. Because any fans, but it's like they want the quarterback to do good, but then he does good, but then he doesn't do good. It's just like off and on. But that's with any team, I think. So,
But I'm talking about the fans. The fans kill it
Like a
because the fact that
disrespectfulness?
yeah, it's
that's.
just- but it's that rivalry though, and I don't
yeah.
take it in a bad way because I love the whole football like grimery of it. But yeah, but I don't want to get off on a tangent. But
Yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah,
No,
my
go
bad.
ahead.
No, I think it's cool to shoot the shit, but at the same time, you got to keep it respectful, dog.
Right,
You know
right,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like it's about I respect anybody who has that loyalty for their team, dog.
Yeah.
The ones that switch up, all the time, the
I have a
bad
lot of them.
wagoners.
Yeah. And
I have
that's
no respect for that.
yeah.
But you, I respect the fact that you've been a diehard
Bro,
Cowboy
I
fan
went
from
through
the
a
beginning,
I went through
bro.
a 2-win season, and I'm like, man, this hurts. So that's the reason
Yeah,
why they're like, you haven't switched. I'm like, no, if I can live through that, I can live through a lot. You know what I mean?
for real.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll get back on the subject.
Yeah.
How so this is a brave and probably uncomfortable at the same time. You guys were mentioning why is it, socially awkward and uncomfortable, because I want to be able to ask those awkward questions that everybody's thinking but doesn't necessarily want to ask. And before we get into the really tougher questions, I must ask, what's the deal with the constant reminder of sobriety? Is that for you? Is that for us? Because we always see it like I'm, X amount of time, sober. I'm 3 years, 7 days, 16 seconds. Like, what is that?
That I look at it as it being sober as a 24-hour a day reprieve, because I have to depend on my sobriety because I know how I would act when I take that first drink.
Okay.
So remember, you're there, Pat, when I took my last drink. Remember, I
Yeah.
was through the whole thing. My
Yeah.
last drink, everyone, was 7/12/2016.
Right.
I tell you a little bit about my story. Started drinking at 15 years old.
Yeah.
I love the way drinking made me feel. I would feel I can go talk to people. I can act a certain way without having a consequence. But when my 20s, I would drink a lot more by myself at the bar or at the house, and but moving a little forward in my 30s, that's when I started blacking out,
Yeah.
becoming hungover, and just wasn't it for me anymore. I ended up in Maryville Hospital in 2015, I believe, and then after that, they transferred me to Southwest Behavioral Center because of my drinking. I was in a suicidal blackout, and I didn't want to. When I drink, I black out, and I become somebody who I'm not when I'm sober. It's just my last and final drink. I text one of my buddies. I'm not gonna mention his name. Keep his name uh, out the story. But I text one of my buddies. I was, hey man, let's go have a small pitcher of beer. So let's go do it, bro. So we went to go to the bar, and small pitcher after small pitcher. And I remember we went to go somewhere else to pick up another friend, and then we went back to the bar. And after that, I was just blacked out. I remember just texting Patrick. I think I told him I don't want to live anymore, and I got so angry. I remember bits and pieces at that my last drink. I was at the bar by my house. I think I got into an argument with some guy, and I got mad, and I think I got a bar stool and slammed it on the floor. And I was like, "Just forget this, forget life." I'm not working at the time. I was on probation at the time with the state of Arizona. I was just like, no, forget life, and I would just walking across the street, and then I guess cars were coming by honking. I think that's what my buddy told me, and I was walking down the street, and I guess they picked me up, and that's when I went to the house, and Pat was there. A couple people from Teros Recovery were there, and they asked me if I wanted help. I said, "Yeah, I need help. I just can't do this crap anymore." So my mom drove me to Thunderbird Hospital for. I was admitted to 6 days for detox and rehab, and that really changed me. I was really done with the drinking. I was like, remember, I was first day of the at Thunderbird Hospital. I woke up and I just slept all day, and I was just depressed, and I just don't want to live that life anymore. I think it wasn't for that time. I think I would still be drinking if it wasn't for you, Patrick. Thank you, man.
Yeah. It definitely, as an outsider looking in, trying to get in, trying to, a few different things, trying to get connected to you to say, hey, you know what, like, to be honest with you, you're fucking up. Like,
Yeah,
how do I get through to you? And then at that point, you didn't necessarily want the help, so it made it really difficult for me because I didn't know what to do at that point.
yep.
And then the other thing too is being the fact that, like, okay, like what's the next step? Okay, we get them help today, but what does that mean for tomorrow? What does that mean for the day after? But we'll get into a lot of that stuff because I have a ton of questions I want to ask in
Okay,
regards to that stuff.
no problem.
But to answer the question, that timeline, that's for you, right?
Yeah.
And it's not for like, because I always get confused. I'm like, okay, is that letting us know so that we are constantly reminded, okay, he's this much, or is that for himself to say, okay, like I've already gone this far. If
Like an
I
set example for others to see.
well, and on top of that, but is that also because of the fact that I know I've gone, 7 years. I know if I mess up, that's 7 years wasted.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not
Okay,
7 years
I get
work I
it.
put in, and that's, it's not, I'm one, I'm not gonna lie. We have, look out the house couple, like, from years ago, somebody left some liquor there, but I don't touch it at all. But there's some times when my thinking says, have one beer, Gabe. Nobody's gonna know, but
Yeah.
only God will know and I won't know. But I don't want to do that to anybody, so I don't even do it.
Right.
So I leave it at that.
Yeah.
I want to wake up tomorrow sober, and I don't want to
Yeah, I
mess
appreciate
up
it
my
though, because
sobriety. And
you definitely are a different person from from when we first started drinking to your darkest moments to
yeah,
now. I mean, you've completely 360. We've had this conversation plenty of times where we're looking at old friends and family members, and they don't have that fortunate route. They're not in the same position where
yeah,
they're either still down in the dumps, or unfortunately they're not here anymore. And that's
yes.
that's the sad reality. Ruben, would you like to share your
Well,
story?
like, why do I brag about it?
Like you no
Something like that.
your because he was sharing his story, his back end story of why he became sober.
Um, I think you asked a question though, right?
Right, about the timeline.
Yeah, like I brag about it because I feel like, okay, like for me, it's like in a sense of, for pride for the most part is a terrible thing,
Yeah.
like pride will kill you, but
Right.
I think it is okay, um, to feel proud of yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to be proud of others,
Right.
with certain accomplishments. Not entitled.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not overconfident, but just like a pat on the back. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And kind of like, you know what? And like you were saying too, you guys were like, mentioned like accountability.
Right.
It's like, I'm holding myself accountable in a sense. Others see, uh, like, people who like my brothers in AA, my brothers in Celebrate Recovery, and also my Christian brothers out there in the community. Really, everybody, I feel like, gets something from it.
Right.
They're like, okay, Ruben's still sober. I
Yeah.
can still stay sober. Or, Ruben's sober. Of all people, I know a lot
Yeah.
of people hit me up and they're like, no way. Like, they'll be like, bro, like, I know you'll be back. You know what I'm
And
saying?
see, that's
And
gonna
it's
be
like,
the
guess what? I'm not. At
that's
least
gonna be
today,
the
I'm not.
that's gonna be the success story. That's You're
Yeah.
gonna motivate people that you don't even know that you're
I
touching.
feel like I have, like, at least, I feel like God is using me. It's not, I
Right.
can't take credit for it, but God has used me to, people have hit me up on the low. Like, usually they're all like drunk, like
Yeah.
belligerent drunk. And they're like, bro, like, like, how did you do it?
Yeah.
And they're like, cause I know how it is to be in that dark place, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that torture, and,
Yeah.
and you feel like you could never get out of it. But like me, bro, like if you mean you sort of know me back then,
Yeah.
like, but others have seen an even worse side of me, and a very evil side of me, and to be able to walk in the light now, having come all the way to the other side, from all the way on the other side is a truly a miracle,
So what
So
was the final straw for you?
I can't even say there's a final one, bro.
Yeah.
I'd say like there's just a whole bunch of them. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? I
Was
can't say
there
there was like one last moment that
Yeah.
led me to go to sobriety. It was just a whole bunch of stuff, a culmination of torture and pain and resentment
Okay.
and just mistakes and hurting others and other people hurting me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And mostly me hurting myself.
Yeah.
So, the way it happened, I would say, I had already, because I had, I've done meth, I've done coke, I started with weed a long time ago when I was 13 years old. So I smoked weed for a long time, just weed, but and alcohol, for the most part it was just weed. But eventually, started drinking, and then with the drinking is gonna come the yayo, the
Right.
dope, so and then after that, I started messing around with G. I was a closet meth addict for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Really started with the Adderall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of
Oh,
people
wow.
over there on ADHD or,
Yeah.
you know, using that as an excuse to do Adderall. Anybody who's ever done Adderall, ADHD or not, they know that's just legal meth. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like that's just legal. Honestly, and I would say it's even better than the meth on the street. Cause I
Yeah.
know because I've done both.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I preferred Adderall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's that strong.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people over there on that ADHD bullshit, hiding behind that fake disease. You know what I'm saying? All lit all the time.
So
You know
are
what I'm
you
saying?
you know, sober from all of it now?
I'm sober from everything. You know
Nice.
what I'm saying? Except
Yeah.
for ibuprofen because my back hurts sometimes. You know?
Yeah. Well, we're getting old, you know.
Ibuprofen.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Ibuprofen
saying?
and coffee.
Yeah.
coffee,
Yeah.
coffee is like, you know, the
Yeah.
sober man's drug. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But you
And
know,
that's what I was trying to figure out today because I was like, okay, what can we do today? And you know, he was like, let's do coffee.
yeah,
And I'm like,
you know, wait first. That's what I hit first thing in the morning, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got that cup brewing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's yeah.
So why at times do you believe it's so hard to get through to someone who's so deep? You know, like I was mentioning before, it was so hard sometimes because I'm like, you know, you got to snap out. Like, we got to figure out something else. And he was like, I'm going to do it when it's my time. Like, you know, you can't tell me anything. It's my body, this and that. I'm like, yeah, I know, but you're heading down a dangerous path.
Yeah.
Why do you believe that? Like, you know, it's so hard to get through to them.
Because they don't really want it. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like they want to do it their way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't want to surrender to, like, they believe, essentially, when it comes down to it, they believe that they're in control when they're not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They believe that they're stronger than they really are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They believe that they're their own God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Rather than surrendering to the one true living God, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or a lot of people, you know, are, you know, like they choose, you know, I'm in AA, and, you know, they're big on you know, pick a God that whatever you believe, you know, whatever God, there's a
Right.
bunch of fake gods out there, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that'll keep them sober for a while or whatever. A lot of them really are sober because they're like, they have this chip on their shoulder to show everybody, I'm going to show everybody that I'm sober. Um, to show that I don't need Christ to be sober.
Right.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
yeah, and
You
hold that
know?
thought, because I have a question that's going to go in line with that.
All
But I
right.
did want to pick up on what he was saying to go with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Is that invincibility? The fact that you feel like you can do anything and like you're unstoppable because of the fact that it, you know, you start drinking and you're, you know, that alcohol tends to mess with you and you're like, man, I can do anything that I want. And in all reality, it's like, no, you're still human at the end of the day. But the question I wanted to talk to you about, because the fact that you had talked about Christ, why do you feel like a lot of times you have someone that's, you know, comes out of prison, all of a sudden they're just like, man,
Yeah.
like I'm all, you know, it's religious based.
Yeah.
Same thing with sobriety. Why do you believe this is?
What, like sobriety after prison?
Yeah, like someone coming out of prison or someone that's, you know, not with prison, but someone
Like
that's
rehab or something?
rehab or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. I've done both. I've been
Yeah.
to prison. That's actually where I found Christ about
But why do you believe that that's the two
5 years
though?
ago. I opened up the word in prison, and
Yeah.
well, a lot of people, I think it's easy to be sober in rehab.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
easy to you know, actually, it's not. I don't feel like it's easy to go to church in prison because a lot of fools are like, if you're scared, go to church.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's those few that do come out and they're like, oh, I believe in Christ, and I'm not saying that they don't, but at the you know, core of it, we are sinners, bro.
Yeah.
That's why we need God. You know what I'm saying?
But it seems like
But I,
that's
I
the
know
only
these fools
time.
are under a microscope. Like, as Christians, we're under a microscope. You know.
But why
And
is it that because it's only when you're drinking or only when you're in prison that you're finding Christ?
well, it's like I was saying, it's easy to get sober.
Yeah.
It's much more difficult to stay sober, my brother.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
easy to become a Christian.
Yeah.
It's much more difficult to stay a Christian.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the struggle, is the daily struggle of, you know, you're not, you know, a lot of people go to church and they answer that calling, like, you know, the altar call, and you know, that prayer where if you accept Christ as your Lord and Savior,
Right.
then you'll be saved. And like, that's a calling that you got to answer every motherfucking day, player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Every day you got to answer that. Every day
Right.
you got to pick up your cross. Every day you got to stay sober. It's not just one day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, fools think it's just one day. It's like, oh, I'm saved and I can go back to prostituting myself. You know what I'm saying? I can go back to smoking blues. You know what I'm saying? I can go back
Right.
to jacking off every motherfucking day like a fucking loser and shit. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Sin is
Right.
sin. You know what I'm saying? But like you got to be able to sacrifice that old way of life for a brand new life that Christ has for you. But you got to believe in yourself first in order for you to accept the belief that God has in you.
I
You
get
know what
it.
I'm saying?
Right.
But it's like, it pisses me off, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm real about it.
Yeah.
I only have 9 months.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I've hit the point where there is no turning back. Because
Right.
if I drink that one drink, if I go back there, I will never go to
Yeah.
rehab again. I will
Yeah.
drink myself to death. I will smoke myself to death. I'll be gone. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You won't ever see me again. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? All you hear about me is Ruben died. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Or Ruben disappeared somewhere.
So, what is the both of your guys' support system?
My support system is hanging out with people in recovery too, and just like what Ruben was saying earlier, I am afraid of that taking that other drink again, because it will. I don't know if I'll come back to sobriety, but I've seen that so many times. People go back out after being sober, and then they never come back.
Yeah, but
It's
what is
just
like? Are you like okay? So if you get those temptations, you're calling someone like you're
yeah.
like, what else are you doing?
I like to, whenever I'm feeling that way or depressed or down, I put on worship music.
Okay.
I listen to worship music every day, and I um
Is there any specific ones that you can maybe mention that might help others people that are watching?
I like you might know him. You have met him before. Brian Trejo,
Okay.
Kingdom Music.
Yeah.
I bump his music
No,
sometimes,
Trejo's
Okay.
cool.
and
I
I
like
do
Trejo.
Yeah.
I have him on Facebook, and I do comment on his stuff sometimes. And he does like my stuff sometimes. He puts
Okay.
like on it, and a lot of other Christian rappers and rap music, and
Okay.
they bring up hope every day for me to wake up, and it's
Yeah.
just because I need that faith and inspiration in my life, because before I never had that. Before I would just didn't believe in a higher power, and I would just be down on myself every day, and I
Right.
hated the person who I was. But Ruben was saying, for me coming from that, almost killing myself 3 times, being where I'm at now, somebody has to be watching over me.
Yeah.
That's what I believe in.
Yeah. And
And
your support system?
Well, I mean, there's levels to it.
Yeah.
There's different. Um, you know, there's not just one thing. I can't
Mhm.
count on just one thing. Well, the main thing, without my relationship
Yeah.
with Christ, there's nothing. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? I would say that's my number one thing. I had COVID. I got COVID 3 weeks ago, um, and I hadn't got it before,
Yeah.
and I was out for 2 weeks. Don't worry, I got checked, so I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I was trapped, bro.
Yeah.
I was trapped in that room for almost 2 weeks, and I was just a prisoner of my mind. Again, and I have a good friend in AA. His name is Sean Ernst, and he once told me, he's all like, depression can't hit a moving target.
Yeah.
You know, so ever since I got out of rehab, I did 90 days over there at Unhooked Recovery in
Okay.
Mesa, and I just keep it moving, bro.
Yeah.
Keep it moving, but I've come to find out during that time in COVID, that the one thing that I had to keep coming back to, and the
Right.
one thing that will not break, bro, because I choose, like my allegiance. It comes down to loyalty, bro. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It comes down to, are you really loyal?
Mhm.
And I'm truly loyal to Christ. I truly have faith in Him. So at the end of the day, no, I will bend, but I will not break, bro, because of the faith that Christ has in me, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that relationship, no matter what happens, that's always the most important thing. But yeah, for sure, I got a sponsor, which he's all pissed. I'm not a good sponsee, but I mostly use like the fellowship in AA, bro.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then my Christian brothers at my church, JDN,
Yeah.
and then my family, um, and yeah, I'll definitely worship music. That's just a daily way of life.
Yeah.
Um, and reading the word, staying in the word, living by the word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of thing that one thing that helps, it's a big thing, is being of service to others, dog. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Being
Yeah.
there for others, like, just being like, when somebody needs help, bro.
Just
You know what I'm
checking up, just
saying?
something
Like,
simple.
yeah, because like being in the fellowship in AA and doing Celebrate Recovery. I do
Yeah.
Celebrate Recovery over there at Revolution Church. So just people going through it, bro. Everybody's always going through something, you know.
Yeah.
So people are gonna reach out to you, or you could just see it, bro.
Yeah.
You know, once God gives you that discernment to see when somebody's struggling,
Yeah.
and just being able to reach out and say, hey, bro, how you doing? I can see you're going through something. What's going on? Just being able to have somebody, just being an ear that somebody
Right.
can talk to, you know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
if somebody's moving, I'm practically a professional mover now, that but I do that out of the just because I want to be able to help, and
So
stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, let me ask, because the fact that you have years under your belt and everything else, and because the fact that now you have time under your belt, Ruben, was it harder, do you think, the first few steps within sobriety, or is it harder now staying consistently sober?
Shoot.
First year was really hard because my body was coming out of the drinking and detoxing. And first year of sobriety, I was really angry, and like somebody would piss me off, and I would go slam things. I would punch stuff. And but
I
now,
remember some of those
but
times.
now this day, I would just to this day now, even though I have a little bit of sobriety in my belt, I do get angry at times, but I'm not how I used to be like when I was first in recovery.
Right. Well, because you're not under the
Yeah,
influence anymore. You don't have that.
no,
Yeah.
and it's and funny thing you asked, because I was like 6.5 years ago. I was looking at my Facebook memories, and I would put my weight up, and I was 180. In my drinking, I'm now in recovery. I'm 155 in
Man,
weight.
I mean,
Yeah,
some of those pictures, I mean, it literally looks like two completely different
yeah.
people. I mean,
And
the
it
minute
was
that you stop drinking, you drop that weight quick.
yeah, it
And
was
they don't realize that alcohol adds so much weight,
Yeah, I was
you know?
265 when I entered rehab, and
Yeah.
I'm down to 220, but
awesome.
I came
Nice.
out 210, but I picked up a little
Hey, it's
bit.
all good, man. Hey,
Yeah.
But I need to get back in, the weight room. You know
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
was just like living sober now. It's a better life, Like I cherish every moment of it, because like, okay, I could be in a worse position
Right.
if I was still drinking or without my family involved. And my family knows I'm in recovery, so shout out to my family. Much love for the love and support.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because even going out to events, man. We were talking about the Cardinals earlier. Dude,
Yeah.
I had the funnest times in my life at a game, being sober than I was drunk.
Wow.
Because I remember,
Amen.
at the times that being drunk at the games, I don't remember what happened, or I would end up trying to fight people at the games, and I'm like,
Right?
I mean, we
whoa,
we
Every
even got in
single
a
yeah,
time,
couple of
bro.
times where
yeah, me and Pat, yeah,
yeah,
one of them Bone Thug shows drunk, and
me trying to take him back to the car, and he would
yeah,
just get us kicked out, and
Especially at the Cowboy
yeah.
games.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
No,
so recovery is much better in life now, and whoever needs help can reach out to me or Ruben, and we're always here for you guys. And don't be afraid to call or step in that door, because that's how I was before. I was always afraid and in denial.
Yeah.
But sober life is much better now, because we're also being an example to
Right.
the kids out there, because all the kids nowadays are just, or even back then too, they're just
Now I
some
feel like it's a slightly different.
more, yeah,
When we were growing up, it was, I actually can't really say that because it was everything back then. But now I feel like the addiction is more the fentanyls,
oh,
the
yeah, all
pill, the
that
pill
stuff,
poppers.
yeah,
yeah. Well, to me, like alcohol's the most dangerous drug out there in
legal
Yeah.
too.
existence. Like because for me it started with alcohol.
Right.
Like my dad would force me to drink with him when I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
Like he just because he didn't want to drink by himself, so he'd wake me up in the middle of the night and force me to drink with him. But and then so it started with alcohol with me, but
Yeah.
and then it ended with alcohol because I stopped smoking weed on my own. I stopped doing G on my own. I stopped doing Adderall. I stopped doing coke on my own, but I could not stop drinking on my own, dog. I
Wow.
could not for the life of me. And I I can't even put into words how difficult it was, And I thought it was gonna be the easiest one,
Yeah.
Not to say that those drugs weren't extremely difficult to quit. They were,
Yeah.
but and they were it was a very painful process. But alcohol, it beat me down to a pulp. And the more I tried on my own, the more it beat me down. And I had to check into rehab. I had to, some people do it on their own
Right.
on a couch and some sort of, like monitor or supervised.
Yeah.
But I had to do it within a structure. And right now, thank God, now, 8 years ago, they didn't have these programs where, with access,
Right.
you can go into rehab for free. You know what I'm saying?
One
Now they
thing-
have that, and motherfuckers, should step up their game and stop being some bitches and check themselves up in the fucking rehab. You know what I'm
But
saying?
I think the reason why it was so hard for you was because of the fact that you turn on the TV, there's alcohol ads. You go to
Yeah.
any parties, they're socially drinking. It is
Yeah.
so crazy because you can't even go, like, they have drive-through liquor stores. You know what I mean?
It's
They're
crazy, bro.
promoting,
It's crazy that it's socially acceptable. That's
Yeah.
that's exactly what made it so difficult. Well, that's one of the reasons.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons. But yeah, they don't show in those commercials people seizing out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Having seizures. They don't show people blacking out and committing, horrible, atrocious crimes,
Right.
towards women and towards other men, and towards themselves, and they don't show people dying from alcohol withdrawal, bro. It's the only drug
And that's what
that
will
you
help.
will literally die from, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Coming off of it, which shows how lethal and how serious it is, So, but yeah, for me also in terms of I think you had asked a question in terms of I wanted to answer it with yeah. I would say it's still as difficult as it. I mean, I can't say it. I mean, it's not as difficult,
Yeah.
but I gotta make it as difficult, it was when I first checked into rehab.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta
Yeah.
create that for myself because I can't put my guard down,
Okay.
not one day. Because alcohol is so it's not that it's like a powerful addiction that it's overwhelming that it brings me to the liquor store, bro.
Yeah.
It's that it's the enemy, the devil, the way he convinced Eve,
Right.
alcohol is subtle, bro.
Yeah.
It's so sneaky, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just one drink,
Yeah.
just one beer, just to relax. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see a commercial and it makes just nobody's gonna, like you were saying, nobody's
Yeah.
gonna know. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? One drink at the game. You know what I'm saying? Like old times. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that one sip and then it's over.
Yeah,
That's
You
it.
know?
exactly.
How many times have you guys relapsed?
I've
Well,
I've been sober 3 times long term, and I've always this 9 months is huge for me because I always reach an 8 month period
Yeah.
in relapse. You know,
Yeah.
so these 9 months that I have now is huge for me because I feel that I've broken something. But I would say 3 times. I've been to rehab 3 times. This last time was my third time. Or
Okay.
my fourth time. I mean,
me
Yeah.
too,
Mm.
about 3 times that I would try to stay sober by myself, but it's hard. Like Ruben said, it's I would do about 2 3 months and go back to the bar, and then do 6 months and go. Yeah, so about probably more than 3 or 4 times. Yeah.
So what are you guys doing in lieu of drinking? Have you guys, come across any other addictions? Because a lot of times when we think addiction, we're thinking about just, um, drugs and alcohol. We're not really thinking about sex. We're not
Right.
really thinking about, like, even food. You can have addictions to food. You can have addictions to
Coffee is one of mine. Caffeine.
okay.
Yeah, I picked up ever since I got sober. I drink a lot more coffee than what I used to.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely coffee, sober man's drug. But
Yeah.
yeah, I try to watch myself in that,
Yeah.
and because I go to the rehab that I was in, and I speak. They allow me to do this thing where I share the word every other Tuesday,
Right.
and I tell them the same thing that um you gotta like how do I like I like we have addictive we're at where we're at in part because we have addictive personalities, dog.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we can't only work on our addiction to
Mhm.
drugs and alcohol. We have to
Yeah.
work on our
Life.
addiction in all phases of the game,
Yeah.
bro. You know what I'm saying? And in terms of even with coffee, sometimes I'm like, you know what, this week I'm not gonna drink any coffee. You know what I'm
I
saying?
found myself with an addiction to coffee lately.
You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
sex, like that's as a me, like as obviously any man
Right.
struggles with lust, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, we got to be able to check ourselves, in terms of masturbation. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, um, you know, having being promiscuous.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right now I'm saving myself from marriage. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So starting over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So and that's difficult,
Yeah.
man. That's the most difficult thing, bro. You know?
Yeah.
But and then there's other things like you mentioned food.
Yeah.
Like I gotta watch myself in that. So it's not just drugs. You can't. A lot of people in AA, they're like, oh, well, as long as I'm sober from drugs and alcohol, I'm fine. I can be promiscuous. The book of Alcoholics Anonymous says
Yeah.
that I can do that as long as I'm straight up with a girl. As long as I tell them, hey, this is all I want. I just want friends with benefits. Then it's cool. But that's bullshit. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You're
Yeah,
gonna
correct.
catch feelings, bro.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna get hurt, or if not, most of the time it's gonna be both in one way or another.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's really, you got to be in it uh for to win it. You know what I'm saying? It's all
Yeah.
or nothing.
Yeah.
It's not, and that's what I tell a lot of people, because these rehabs get packed.
Yeah.
So I tell them, like, because there's this story in the big book in AA where it says that there's this story about this dude who's very successful. He's like, making bank, and but he started drinking and he
Right.
became an alcoholic and started fucking up his life. So he's like, you know what? I'm gonna stop drinking. He stopped drinking. He's like, I'm not gonna drink again until I retire.
Yeah.
So he did that. He made his money, became a millionaire, and then when he retired, he started drinking again. So 4 years later, after that, he died, bro.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So alcohol, once you're an addict, you're always an addict, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you, and a lot of people are in it like, oh, I'm only gonna stop for a year or two and then I'll be good.
Yeah.
That ain't how it works. I'm telling you right now, that ain't how it works. That shit is gonna come collecting for everything that you didn't do when you were sober. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's gonna collect hardcore. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna pay. So it's best to like when you go in to check in the rehab. You know what I'm saying? If you're not with that mindset of like, I'm completely done, I can't live this way no more, I surrender.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then get the fuck out, because you're taking up somebody's place, somebody's cot that really does want it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
they gotta send them away because you're selfish ass. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So
So let me ask an honest question. Do you guys miss it?
Sometimes I do. I'm not gonna lie. I did have good times in drinking,
Yeah.
but as soon as the bad times hit, I didn't like it anymore. So, but there are gonna. I'm not gonna lie. I did have some fun times in my drinking.
Yeah.
There were some times where I would drink with you. I'd be happy, and then sometimes I would no, but it's like I like one of those. I'm like bipolar when I drink because I can be happy one moment, the mad the next.
Right. Your
But
body's
it's
trying to
like
figure out what it wants to do.
But speaking of rehabs, Ruben, first year I was sober. I actually spoke at place where I was at, Thunderbird Hospital. I went back there a year later to go speak for them about recovery, and it was kind of cool, because thinking I was in this place for rehab and detox, and I went back there a year later and shared my story, man, and then after that I've spoken at various other rehab centers. I spoke at Aurora Center, and then last one I spoke at was St. Joseph Hospital, because that in that rehab center there. Crazy thing is, I was born there at St. Joseph. Good Samaritan. I'm sorry, Good Samaritan Hospital. So it's good to get back to others, because you never know that your story can encourage somebody, man, and just keep at it and don't stop it, man. Because I know if I just go back to my old ways, man, I'll be back out there running and gunning, man. I don't want that. You gotta be true to yourself and just not stop. I gotta stop bullshitting myself at times, because there's times where I do get in depressed and stressed mode. I'm like, man, Gabe, get the fuck out of your head. And well,
yeah,
why am I like that for? Just gotta get out my old ways. And I get it, man, because we're human and we're gonna have emotions. But I'm gotta be blessed to the life I have now than when I had 7 years ago.
So
yeah,
another thing that I wanted to ask, I think it's important because the fact that a lot of times people don't know the emotions that they put out. You guys are at a party, you guys are at a function, whatever the case is, and they start making these chunks like, oh, he's sober now, or he's this, he's
yeah.
that. How does that make you guys feel? And what is your guys' message to that?
I would say that's annoying as fuck. Like, because there's nothing more annoying. It's funny because I mean, now I'm at a point where I can go to family functions and stuff. I won't stay too long though. Once it starts getting a little too crazy, but man, there's nothing more annoying than a drunk guy talking to you. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
it's like, cause they've lost all like, common sense, and it's like they can't take a hint when you're like, when you're just done with
Yeah.
the conversation. They'll just keep going, bro,
Yeah.
and they'll follow you. They'll keep you there. You know what I'm saying?
And then you're having a babysit
Talking
and
about
everything
all their
else.
problems and all their, stuff that doesn't matter. It
Yeah.
doesn't, I don't care, and it's like
Yeah.
belligerent talk, and it's like, bro, like, dang, you stank ass breath. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, I'm done with this.
But what do you say to the people that are making fun of you for being sober, though?
Bro, I feel sorry for them, bro,
Yeah.
because they have no idea. Because I know that like they must be going through something
Yeah.
to be able to think about me, bro. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? I gotta pray for them. At first, yeah, and I mean, I still sometimes, like I get heated and stuff because I start looking at it from the wrong perspective. Like people trip on me a lot, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like people come at me a lot. Like for some reason, people hate me a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I get a lot of heat for being sober or whatever, and random people that I don't even know, but I know that they gotta be going through something, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know they gotta be struggling, behind closed doors,
Yeah.
they crying, bro. Because we all do that.
Yeah.
And I think as a man, a real man, he ain't afraid to shed tears, bro. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes as a real man,
I
uh,
tell people all that time. It's okay to
you
cry.
gotta be vulnerable, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta be obviously it's gotta be with the right people that you trust. You know what
It
I'm
has to be the
saying?
right type of cry too.
Yeah, yeah.
You
It,
just don't
it,
want to
it,
whine
it
or
ain't
whatever.
never wrong to call the cry for Christ, bro.
Well, no,
You know
I'm
what I'm
not saying
saying?
that. I'm saying when they whine.
Oh yeah, that's one thing, bro. Like a lot of drunk people, they be complaining, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
And then you don't. I mean, drug addicts too, but and then even sober people, bro. It's like it's almost like they're like they gotta be going through something. They've got to be secretly secret addicts, or they got to
well,
be like something has to be going on. They've carried on. They have a whole bunch of resentments, where like man, they just can. That's the worst thing is to just complain all the time,
because they
bro.
drag you into that negative
It's
energy, and
like
then it's
I'm
like,
going the other way right away. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like
and then
that's
you're
that's
fucking up my
there
energy.
ain't nothing more bitch made than that,
Yeah,
bro. Straight up.
when
Yeah.
somebody comes to me drunk, talking to me drunk, and like I don't have any hate towards them, I'm like, that's where I used to be, and I don't want to ever go back to that life. It gives me an example again, like whoa, like or seeing people on the street because I used to 2 o'clock in the morning walk home from the bar drunk as crap, and I see that nowadays people and like, oh man, that used to be me. Like I live well not a rough Maryville. I grew up in Maryville, so I walk down. Yep, Maryville. Yep.
Yeah.
So I walk down my neighborhood, and because I get into a lot of cardio, and I like to walk a lot since I've been sober, and I see people on the street riding bikes, and I tell, hey, come here, homie, and then they say, hey man, you have a good day, brother. So thank you, man. I give them tabs, and they I try to make people happy. And
Right.
a couple weeks ago, I try not to post it on Facebook anymore because people too quick to bug. Oh, you're just doing that for attention game. Like I do it out my heart. There's a homeless woman with their cart walking down the alley in the back of my neighborhood, my alley, and say, wait a second there, and then I go in my pantry, give her some crackers and tuna. I said, thank you. No, no, just get yourself some meat, and then
Yeah.
I try to do stuff like that, give them back to my community, and because if it wasn't for family or fellowship, I think I would be that way now. If I wasn't sticking to it.
So as we start to close out, I did want to give you guys a few moments to talk to someone that's either going through it or in their first days of
Mm.
sobriety. If I can get each of you guys to say your own little piece to them.
Yeah, I would say, well, I'm just gonna answer the question that you said. You know, do I regret it, or am I happier now, or
Yeah,
is there anything you missed? Right.
yeah, right.
So, in answering that question, I would say no. There ain't nothing I miss. I
Yeah,
would never go back to that old life. And if I ever start believing that, all those thoughts, it ain't nothing but a lie, bro.
yeah,
It ain't nothing but a lie, because I would never trade what I have right now in my relationship with God, for what I had then. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
there's nothing there.
Right.
Like I think back to, for you that you're struggling right now, you're probably like, man, this. A lot of people defend their addictions. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They defend their, oh, I just smoke weed. And weed's like the worst drug too because it kills your motivation, bro. You know what I'm saying? Especially the older you get, the less energy you have. So it makes no sense to continue to do a depressant like that. You know what I'm saying? Or I want to, they justify however it is. You know what I'm saying? They justify their bullshit. But I'll tell you right now, like just to be able to have that freedom where now I don't have to depend on smoking weed. I don't have to depend on alcohol. I don't have to depend on coke. I don't have to depend on G or any mind altering drug to be happy, yo.
Yeah.
If I want to feel good, I have the power and the authority to feel good no matter what happens to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's not about happy. It's I'm talking about the peace, bro.
Yeah.
The peace that God has given me in my life. I have peace in my heart. And that's something that you, as an addict, can never fucking say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can lie to yourself, you can lie to your family because you live a lie. You know what I'm saying? That's the truth. Your whole existence is a lie because your whole existence and your whole identity is based on a fucking drug
Yeah.
to be able to feel good. If you really think about it, getting in deep, you know what I'm saying? Like um like basically okay, for example, I tell these parents, like I've talked to certain people and I told them, don't ever tell your child that you love them when you're drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But
because a lot of motherfuckers do that shit when
But-
they're high.
but they say that you're at your honest moment when you're drunk, though. They
But
say that.
but
like,
how
I mean,
does how does the kid look at it though?
Oh, right. Yeah, I
How
get that
does the
part.
kid look at it?
Yeah.
Because the kid is like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
The kid don't feel that love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How does the child look at it? Your child is like, nah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The child is like, I'd rather you not tell me that shit.
Yeah.
That's one thing I remember my dad always telling me. He would only tell me that he loves me when he's drunk, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of these parents, they don't realize that they're only real when they're high, yo.
Yeah.
They're only real when they're drunk. So if you're only real when you're drunk and when you're high, then you ain't really real. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can't be who you really are sober, then you ain't nothing.
I agree.
You know
with
what I'm
this.
saying?
Yeah, because
You should be able to be who you are
Yeah.
sober. You should be able to spend a day, a week, a month, years sober comfortably in your own skin. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't do that, then you're an addict. And you need to admit first step is to admit to yourself that you're an addict, that you're an alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't be happy and you can't be yourself without it. Step up your game. Stop being a bitch made ass motherfucker. Check into rehab. Get sober. I challenge you to do it with your bitch made ass. That's what I gotta say. My bad.
Oh, you're a good man. That's where
I'm
my
getting I'm getting hyped up right
No,
now.
no,
good
but
man.
it,
We're
You know what I'm
that's
saying? I'm getting
yeah.
fired up.
No,
This
good,
I'm
bro.
passionate about this
Yeah.
shit.
And that's your story. You
You
know
know
what
what
I
I'm
mean?
saying?
And someone's gonna watch and they're gonna be like, you know what, like,
I hope so, dog.
yeah,
Yeah, my route
Shit.
was either dead or in prison. That's where I was gonna head to, and took me the courage to Pat actually called the people from Teros to come, and it took me the courage to go into that rehab and get help.
yeah,
It was anybody having addiction problems, don't just, it's not hard to get sober and just stick with the program and just do it for yourself. And I was gonna say also, someone knocking.
yeah. I don't know.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
just have self love for yourself because it's just no matter where you go in life, it'll get better when you get sober. I've seen too many people die in this addiction and friends, family, even, and
Yeah.
it's just a better life to live sober.
Yeah.
And if anybody needs to talk about sobriety, hit me or Ruben up. He's I only known Ruben for about a week. I probably met him before, but I don't remember maybe because I was drunk. But now that I'm sober, now we been texting and keep at the good life. Sobriety is awesome.
Man,
It's
it's
only one day at a time.
Yeah.
feels good to be sober, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I should be expressing more of the peace and the happiness and the joy that I have, but that's I know we're like running out of time and
No,
stuff,
you're a good
but
man. You're just
you know what I'm saying? Like it
you're just
just
expressing yourself because you don't want to see
that's just
people
what
that
they
way.
caught today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but the thing is, I tell people to be themselves so that way they're watching so they can
Yeah.
connect with that person.
Yeah, some people they're always no matter what they're gonna try to find the negative. Oh, this fool still mad or whatever. I'm just passionate, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just passionate. I'm just being real, but yeah, if there's a next time, maybe I can share the happy side or whatever.
Bro, there's a lot of questions I still wanted to touch up on and everything else. Could you mention real quick the two things you told me in the car earlier today?
But what? I'm sorry,
We were talking and you had mentioned, I was like, man, can you bring that up on the show that I never knew about the eyes?
the what?
The colors of the eyes.
I guess I was watching an episode, something, and some guy had jaundice of the liver or something. His eyes were yellow, so that's kind of like a liver disease of drinking. And yeah, and then when I was coming off my um 1 year when I was 1 year sober, I would go to the doctor, and I had a stage 1 kidney disease. But now since I've been sober for almost 7 years, no more. So it just and actually I've been my diabetes has been down since I've quit drinking, and I just have to keep on good health because if I don't, then like I said, either drinking's gonna leave me dead or in prison. So I don't want to go that route. And thank you for Haberry Entertainment for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Much love. One love. Thank you
Yeah, I
guys.
appreciate you guys. Stopping by and sharing your guys' testimony and everything else is a real beautiful thing. We're not closing out yet. I just want to mention.
Okay.
So on the show, I actually always shout out some local businesses. So today I wanted to mention Burrito Mama. It's a burrito spot that comforts your hunger through burritos. You can check her out in the East Valley of Arizona, Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. You can call her at 602 554 3678. That's 602 554 3678. And then we also have Recovery is Possible by Nandi. She was actually a guest on my shit show. But she has a recovery that is a renowned addiction treatment service that offers a range of programs designed to help individuals achieve and maintain sobriety. So this falls in line with the show and everything else. Well, the burritos do too because I love food. But their evidence-based approach includes treatment, detoxification, services, comprehensive assessments, and personalized treatment plans tailored to each individual's unique needs. And then I also wanted to mention a book titled The Alcohol Blackout. Have you guys read that?
No, not
You guys
yet.
read?
I do read, yeah.
It's a really good
A
book.
lot.
I think you guys should pick it up. It's called The Alcohol Blackout. It's by Donal Sweeney. The book will teach you how to recognize the blackout person is unconscious and has no idea what he or she is doing, how to cope with that person, how to protect that person, how to protect the person that's blacked out and yourself, from harm. Because we've been plenty of times where you're trying to babysit someone that that is under the
Exactly.
influence. That itself is hard too. How to drink to prevent blackouts too. So please check out that book. And before we end the show, I wanted to give out 5 facts about alcohol abuse so we all learn something today. 70% of 18-year-olds admit to drinking an alcohol beverage at least once, while 80% of college-age students report consuming alcohol. Approximately 17% of men and 8% of women will be dependent on alcohol in their lifetime. There are roughly 80,000 deaths that are related to alcohol abuse every year, making it the 3rd highest cause of death in the U.S. The 3rd. It's crazy. And alcohol abuse can lead to long-term health issues like cardiovascular disease, cancer of the throat, liver or mouth, anxiety and depression, dementia, liver disease, and so much more. So, these are signs that, just let's take a break a little bit.
Yep.
But as we wrap up the show, I want to give a huge shout out to my guest, Ruben Lopez.
Ruben.
What's up?
Where can they follow you at?
I don't know, wherever the fuck.
Yeah.
Don't follow me.
Yeah. But I mean, if they're reaching out for help though, if you've touched their life,
I don't know. Yeah. My name is Ruben Lopez. You can follow me on Facebook and look me up. I mean, you never know. You know what I'm saying? But it hasn't happened so far. But
Yeah.
I don't expect it to.
Yeah. And Gabriel,
Hello, everyone.
you want to put out your information?
Sure. Look me up on Facebook, Gabriel Charles Galavis. And then Instagram, I think I'm Gabriel Galavis 602. But if you want, you can message me on Facebook or Instagram. Just make that first step and don't be in denial anymore. Get help.
Nice.
Love you all.
To everyone out there, you are loved and appreciated. If you or you know someone needing help, the National Drug and Alcohol Treatment Hotline is 1-800-662-HELP. That's 1-800-662-4357. The National Drug and Alcohol Treatment Hotline provides information on alcohol and drug abuse, local treatment options, support through hotline counselors meant to speak. The hotline counselors about to speak with alcohol, drug, or family problems. So please seek help. In closing, Mr. Wealth for Generations Lee, Elijah.
Thank you, sir.
And please like and follow One Love on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And check out my other shows like the Mom and Pop Spots and the Shit Show. One is a parent podcast. It's everything parent related. And the other one is just for pure entertainment. This is One Love. Thank you for tuning into the show. Make it a great day. Stay hydrated and well rested. We're out.